What's up guys, Jake Hunt from Fitness Culture. Today we're gonna be talking about how to get stronger out of the hole in your back squat. So the first thing we're gonna talk about are a few things that are gonna be hindering you, and then we'll be going over a progression that will help you get better out of the hole. So let's get into it. We're gonna be showing you some drills to fix all these things, but I'm gonna go over the 3 things that usually are causing people to not be as strong out of the hole. So number 1 is gonna be mobility, right? So when you're looking at someone that's not as mobile, what's gonna happen is once they start getting closer to breaking parallel, if they're not mobile enough, their knees are gonna drop in, right? And that's gonna be kind of the problem with this whole thing. Once your knees come in, when you're in the hole, you're not able to keep your chest up, and then you're gonna dip forward, right? Every inch that you dip forward is gonna be harder and harder to get out of the hole. Because when you're forward, that bar is gonna be not over your center of gravity anymore, and it's gonna be pulling you forward. I mean, I'm sure if you've ever missed a back squat that's pulled you forward, you can feel that strain on your core and feel how much heavier it is. So number 1 is gonna be mobility. If you don't have the mobility to get into the hole and keep your knees out nice and wide, then you need to fix that, right? So we'll show you some drills that are gonna help fix that. Number 2 is just gonna be movement pattern dysfunction. So a lot of the times, people that are mobile enough to get in the hole and they're just using their body weight, they're not really thinking about using their glutes to set up, to start. So a lot of the times we'll tell people, even if you do it right now, put your hands on your butt, push your knees out a little bit, and you can feel your glutes get tight, right? So for a lot of people, just this one cue of driving their knees out, getting their glutes tight, and pressing the ground apart out of the hole is gonna help them come out of the hole better. But a lot of the same thing's gonna happen. You're gonna see their knees come in. Right when their knees come in, you're gonna lose your strength out of the hole, right? The last thing we're gonna talk about is if your quads aren't strong enough. So for a lot of people, they're getting stuck out of the hole because they don't have a quad strength. And a lot of the time that is gonna be from poor movement, right? So you've seen a lot of people, I'm sure, once they get into this bad position, they're poor movement. So they're here, their knees come in. What normally happens? They're gonna pop their butt out. Well, obviously you're in a horrible position to squat right now. The bar's way in front of your center of gravity. But what that's gonna do is cause your quads to be underdeveloped, right? Because you're gonna be here, pop out, you're gonna use your posterior chain, and it basically turns into a good morning from there. So we wanna try to clean up these 3 things, or you're never gonna be able to take your back squat to the next level, and you're gonna be stuck in a plateau, and obviously you're not gonna be strong out of the hole. So right now, I'm gonna bring Brendan in here, and we're gonna show you a few different drills that we use, and then a couple different progressions to help you get stronger week to week out of the hole. All right, guys, the first thing we're gonna do is to get you stronger out of the hole, and really it is to fix your back squat, but honestly, these drills are gonna help you get stronger out of the hole and fix your back squat at the same time. It's gonna help you clear up those mobility issues, clear up movement pattern issues, and obviously that's gonna help you get your quad stronger as well if that's an issue. So the first thing we're gonna do is a banded drill. So Brendan's gonna step into this band right here. And we usually do this for about 3 weeks is what I'll do with people. So 3 weeks, we start the day off with these brutal band squats. So it's gonna be a goblet squat. You're gonna hold some weight at your chest right here. What Brendan's gonna do, he's gonna drive out, keeping his feet flat on the ground. He doesn't wanna roll out onto the sides of his feet at all. He wants to push out against that band, kind of like we were just talking about earlier. You can feel, if I did have him put his hands on his butt before, touch your butt, drive out, you feel your glutes get tight. Do you feel your glutes get tight?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So he feels his glutes get tight, hand him the kettlebell, and then what we're gonna do is a 3 count eccentric with the 10 count hold at the bottom. So he's gonna go down 1, 2, 3. He's gonna sit down there, even get a little deeper, and drive out against that band. So really get the feedback of the band. You're gonna feel it pushing in. His glutes are gonna be on fire but at the end of it, and try to keep your chest up as much as possible. Really keep that chest up. So what he's doing, you're just setting yourself up for perfect mechanic at the bottom. It's gonna help your hip mobility because you're sitting down here in an isometric. You're pressing out against the band, which is gonna get your glutes firing. It's gonna just reinforce perfect movement pattern. So at 10 seconds, he's coming up, resting for a second, and then coming back down. 1, 2, 3. Go ahead and sit in the hole, 10 seconds in the bottom. All right, go ahead and come up. Before every day, what we usually do here is just 3 sets of 5 reps with a 10 count hold at the bottom. It doesn't sound that hard, but it's brutal. Your glutes are on fire at the bottom, it gets brutal. The next thing that we'll do, so that's just our warm up for the day, and to keep my athletes strong, what I usually do, we'll start with this, and then we'll move them on to a box squat. So we're not actually gonna have them doing a box squat yet, since their movement's not great. We're gonna do a box squat that's right above parallel, and they'll sit down to the box. It's gonna be a little bit easier to coach it up. So next, we're just gonna show you guys a box squat just to show you kind of how we coach it and if you guys have never seen the box squat before. All right, so we're gonna be doing box squats next. Usually the way that we do it, Brendan actually moves really well. He doesn't need this help. He has a perfect back squat really, but we pick the box height based on the athlete, right? If I have a 7-footer that can't even get close to breaking parallel without his knees coming in this horrible form, we're gonna set that box up a little bit higher. And really what we're trying to do is just get a load on the athlete's back so that he can develop strength during kind of our developmental phase, trying to perfect the back squat. So Brennan's gonna sit with his bar on the back. And then really, he's just gonna get in his nice back squat stance and push back onto the box. So he's gonna sit back, push back, sit on the box, and then just come back up. Good. Push back, sit on the box, good. So we actually will physically have them sit back into their hips a little bit and actually sit on the box. It's really good posterior chain development, and it's just gonna reinforce good movement pattern, because really when you're coming off that box from a dead stop, you're gonna be able to feel it if your knees are coming in at all, and really be able to cue your athlete, push the ground apart, drive your knees out coming off that box. So it's really gonna reinforce the knees staying out, getting strong at the bottom of the squat here, before we move into the next phase of our progression. So once we're done with that for the first 3 weeks, we'll do the band stuff, a little bit of box squatting, just to help our athletes stay strong. Then we're gonna move into actually squatting with the bar, but we're just gonna do isometric. So Brennan's gonna be doing a 3 count eccentric, so a 3 count lower. Then when he breaks parallel, he's gonna stay down there for 10 seconds. So it's basically the same thing we were doing with the band, but this time we're gonna be doing it with a bar on the back. So if you don't have any squat issues and you wanna just get stronger out of the hole, you could, I wouldn't skip this because I even cycle back through this just to help reinforce good movement pattern, but you can just start on this phase of the progression if you'd like. So Brennan's gonna go down in a 3 count eccentric. 2, 3, drive the knees out, cue it, drive the knees out, chest up, chest up, chest up. Really focus on knees out, chest up on this one. That's what's gonna help you get strong in the hole on this one. So after 10 seconds, he's gonna come up and we're just gonna be doing 5 reps of that. Let's do one more, just to make you miserable. Good, cue it out, drive the floor apart, get your chest up, chest up, chest up. You don't have to look up, just get your chest up. There you go, there you go. Good, all right, come on. So week 1, we're gonna be doing just 3 sets, you can rag it. 3 sets, 5 reps, 3 count lower, 10 count at the bottom. Week 2, we're gonna be doing a 5 count at the bottom, and week 3, we're just gonna be doing a 3 count at the bottom. Every week, we're just gonna be going a little bit heavier. All right guys, once you've mastered that with the bar on your back, and you have a perfect hold, really, you're gonna feel it. If you're having problems down there, if you're holding it down for 10 seconds, the first thing that's gonna wanna happen is your knees are gonna drive in, right? So make sure you're driving your knees out on those isometrics. Once you've perfected that, if the 3 weeks help you get perfect, the next thing we're gonna move on to, and if you're already perfect, you could just go straight to this. We cycle back through these 1 1/4 squats all the time in the Fitness Culture app, but the next thing we're moving on to is a 1 1/4 back squat. So on these, we'll usually put everyone through a progression of a slower eccentric, usually 6 to 4 count eccentric, quarter rep, and then all the way back up. And why these are great is they're gonna help you, number 1, evaluate your positioning at the bottom. So the quarter rep's really gonna have to fight your knees coming in at the bottom. And also, it's gonna work your stretch reflex, right? So Brennan's gonna show you what the 1 1/4 is gonna look like. So really what you're gonna do, you're gonna break parallel, go all the way down, come back up above parallel, and then drop back down. So we'll go 4 count lower right here. Let's go, 1, 2, 3, 4, quarter up, down, up, good. 1, 2, 3, 4, quarter up, yeah, good. So it obviously looks really easy because he's got 35 pounds on his back, but when it gets a little bit heavier, you're really gonna have to fight falling forward, your knees coming in on that quarter rep, and just like I said, the stretch reflex is really gonna help you tap into those fast twitch fibers and get stronger out of the hole. So remember, we're trying to get stronger out of the hole. We're not trying to fix just your bottom position, right? So this is probably our favorite tool to build strength out of the hole, but the reason that we wanted to cover the rest of it is you're never gonna get strong out of the hole if you don't have perfect movement. So the goal from this progression, fix movement first, and then start using the tools that are actually gonna get you stronger out of the hole. All right guys, that wraps it up for today on how to get stronger out of the hole. Remember, the reason we went through that stuff in the beginning, if you don't have a perfect squat already, it's gonna help you clean up your form before you move on to the 1 1/4 back squat progression. Anyway, in the link, we're gonna put a full rundown of kind of the percentages and the rep schemes that we talked about today and how we would do this 1 1/4 progression for you guys. So you can kind of start from the beginning and go all the way through if you want. So go ahead and click that link to download it in our description. If you guys like this content, please leave me a comment on what you want me to cover next, and please like and subscribe. Thank you.